Thank you. Practice starts over. It's Darryl to throw first for the bullseye.
Hello you, and welcome to Barnsley Metrodome. It is day 2 of the Pro Tour action this weekend, the second Players' Championship event of the year. Yesterday saw Gary Anderson go all the way to the title. Played absolutely superbly, averaging the best part of 102 for the day. Real top quality stuff from the Flying Scotsman, the two-time world champion,
outside,
kicking off 2020 the right way. Last year, MVG won the opener and was followed by Dave Chisnell in the second event of the year. What do we have in store over the next 6 hours or so? Well, come take my hand and let myself, Dan Dawson, and the good people of Loop Production guide you on this magical tour of professional darts. And it all starts with Super Chin Darryl Gurney against X Factor Andy Boulton.
140.
Gurney, the number 7 seed. Andy Boulton, unseeded. And Gurney,
100.
he did win a game yesterday, but to be honest, he was very poor. He played 2 matches, averaged 81 and 80. It was good enough to edge through his opening game by 6 legs to 3 against Scott Baker, a player you will see on this board a bit later on. But then he was comprehensively beaten by Mickey Mansell, so he was, in an all-Northern Irish clash. Andy Boulton lost in the first round yesterday. He actually averaged about 10 points more than Darryl Gurney, but was beaten 6-4 by the Hunter Adam Hunt, another player you will see on this board in first round action. Level pegging in the opening exchanges of this.
134.
That just edges Boulton into a stronger position.
98.
Super Chin leaves himself the Shanghai finish. 14 and bull. Bullseye it is.
52.
Well, he's left himself double 16 accidentally. Can Chin find his way through to the treble? No, he can't.
100.
Slight change of equipment for Darryl Gurney this year, it would seem. He's changed his flights. I think it's just a colour change rather than anything else. Another one there for Andy. Now double 4.
28. Game shot.
And Darryl Gurney makes him pay. Double 10 for Super Chin, gives him the first leg. It is a break of throw, but nothing especially to write home about in the opening stages. Darryl Gurney, he was unfortunate at the World Championship, running into Glenn Durrant very early on, going out in the last 32.
60.
At the Masters, he was beaten 10-8 in a good game by Dave Chisnell. Second year running that's happened to him. And then in the Premier League, he looked like he had
55.
Gary Anderson where he wanted him, and then just kind of let him off the hook. So it's been a succession of kind of disappointments for Darryl Gurney, and then to turn up and play in the manner that he did yesterday
60.
could be a little bit concerning. Although I've not spoken to Darryl, I don't know. He might not be feeling well. You don't expect Darryl Gurney ever to go and average 80. Too good a player. He's a man who's up number 3 in the world rankings at a point last year, 2-time major champion. But I think it's safe to say that he's got a bit of work to do to play himself into some form.
140.
Andy Boulton's just such a awkward competitor.
140.
Been around for a long while. He's been on the tour for a long while.
85.
Won his tour card back at the start of last year, but he had it in 2015, 16 and 17 as well. Won various open tournaments around the place. Competed at both codes of World Championship, World Masters, UK Open, Grand Slam. He's been around, he's done the rounds, and he's always tricky. Looking at 13s here, and it works out for him.
118.
116 scored there. We're just, the cogs are whirring round. He's left himself tops.
Check 116.
There we go. So Andy Boulton looking at 106 to break straight back with a 15 darter. That's not going to happen, so Darryl Gurney can double his lead. Boulton's got 3 victories against Darryl Gurney. But he hasn't beaten him since, what, September 2018? They only played once last year. That was a convincing win for Super Chin, a 6-1 victory in a European Tour event in Germany. In fact, it was the European Tour event which Darryl Gurney went on to win.
140.
The German Darts Championship. Beat Ricky Evans in the final of that one. Played some excellent stuff that weekend. Saw off Adrian Lewis in the semis, Bunting in the quarters.
100.
Rob Cross dispatched 6-2 in the last 16.
96.
It was about time, really, for Super Chin to pick up a Euro Tour. Already won a couple of big titles
54.
on telly by that point, so kind of strange that he hadn't won a Euro Tour. That will be back, of course, the European Tour, all live on PDC TV and various bookmakers' websites. We start
95.
in Belgium, in Hasselt, former European Championship venue. First time the Euro Tour has gone to Belgium. Now then. There we go. That's a trademark Super Chin 180, and it gets him back into this leg. Another in there.
134.
Leaves himself on double 18. Could it be 180, 167 out? No, no, it couldn't.
55.
And Andy Boulton gets on the board. It is a 13 dart leg. That's the best we've seen so far in this game. Only a holder throw. But he's in there, battling. Looking to avoid drawing a blank this weekend. The opening Pro Tour weekend of the year. Having gone out in round 1 yesterday and not picked up a penny. Darryl Gurney, his 1 win, going out in the second round, earns him 500 quid.
95.
Peanuts for Darryl Gurney. He's probably earning about $250,000 a year over the last couple of years. Being involved in the Premier League. Winning major titles.
180.
Starts like that have propelled him to those titles.
$97. 100.
Well, it's better today for Gurney than it was yesterday, so maybe yesterday was just an off day.
94.
Boulton can't leave himself a finish, so Gurney doesn't have to use the bull route. No need to use the 11s, so treble 15 would have left double 8.
89.
But that double 16 is such a weapon for Darryl Gurney. His ability to hit that was a massive part of him winning his first major title, the World Grand Prix.
Game shot.
And we see him pin it again to re-establish the 2-leg advantage. 96 average, much more like the Darryl Gurney we have come to know.
95.
Winner of this one will face either yesterday's beaten finalist Jeff Smith or Darren Penhall, a man who is playing his first weekend of PDC Pro Tour Darts, a surprise winner at Q School. I say a surprise, maybe that people who knew him had every confidence that he was going to get his tour card, but he's not a name that anybody was mentioning at the start of the 4 days of action in Wigan.
140. 100.
Also on this board, Danny Noppert, finalist at the World Series of Darts finals last year. He'll take on Scott Baker. And then the Mirror Man, Simon Stevenson, will take on the Hunter, Adam Hunt, the man who beat Andy Boulton yesterday.
99.
Boulton leaves himself a big finish. Gurney is not going to repeat the trick from earlier and bang in a maximum to leave himself a big finish.
42.
So it looks like Andy Boulton, who's a Stokey really, although he has spent time living up in Scotland.
135.
He's got plenty of time to close this leg out. It could be back-to-back 13 darters on throw for Andy Boulton, making life very difficult for Daryl Gurney to
59.
extend his lead any further.
Game shot.
14 dart will do. Wins it by a stretch. Gurney barely halfway down from 501. Doesn't matter if he keeps on holding his throw.
$97.
Can look a little bit lurchy at times, Daryl Gurney, with that throw. Just seems like the whole body is moving forward. Andy Boulton,
83.
perhaps a bit less so. I think every player, most players, do have a bit of a body movement. Not many are statuesque. He does often walk on this last dart, Daryl Gurney. When he sticks two in the treble 20, he feels that a bit of extra oomph as he's getting his whole body forward will help him guide the third one, smash into the previous ones. It didn't work for him in that last visit.
$100.
But it's pretty decent stuff on throw for Daryl Gurney. He's not been broken so far in this match, and it doesn't look like Andy Boulton is going to buck that trend in this leg. Again, the little shuffle across because the first dart's marginally low.
43.
Well, he can probably get away with that poor visit. Oh, and he can now because that leaves a bogey number. So even a ton here for Daryl Gurney would be acceptable.
60.
Oh, just kept on pounding away at that middle part of the 20 bed.
$131.
Now then, Super Chin. These are the checkouts that win you games. Double 10. Oh, really good. Really good. Saw a bit of that in the mid-game against Gary Anderson on Thursday night in the Premier League, which is what put him in such a commanding position, and then
58.
Just couldn't stop Anderson reeling off a few legs on the bounce. Cost him the victory and 2 points. Just get the feeling with the Premier League stuff, 96. If you start poorly, then things can just snowball and get out of control. By contrast, you start well, you run away with it. Look at Michael Smith. He's experienced both. Peter Wright has experienced both. $140. $96. $41. Well, Daryl Gurney's played some decent stuff so far today to put himself in this position of 2 up with 2 more legs needed for the win.
60.
But it hasn't been convincing, has it? Again, that little shuffle across. This time it works.
100.
And the Northern Irishman leaves himself 1-2-4. It is makeable, more makeable than the 147.
83.
And that's the end of that hope.
78.
So Boulton, he's just seen an 80 check out by Daryl Gurney at a crucial time.
56.
He cannot respond with a 64 check out of his own, and that might spell the end for Andy Boulton. Oh, he thought it was in.
22.
And that is a surprise. Daryl Gurney just doesn't... I don't know what it is. He's never going to lack for effort or graft.
4.
But maybe it's a bit of sharpness. He's got another crack at winning this leg and going 5-2 up. It's double 12 this time.
Game shot.
And it's there. And Gurney will throw for the match and a 6-2 win. It has not been entirely convincing. In fact, Andy Boulton has an average 3 points higher than that of Daryl Gurney. But it does not matter, because when the big chances have come along, Boulton has fluffed his lines and Daryl Gurney has produced some decent stuff. I mean, the 80 check out in that 6th leg was a crucial one.
136.
And could he be running away with it now? Maximum number 3 for Daryl Gurney. Shake the head for Andy Boulton. I think he knows he's drawing a blank this weekend. Not an ideal start to 2020 for X Factor. A brace
100.
of first round defeats. Gurney has left himself 1-6-3. I don't even think he's not playing brilliantly. He's not thinking clearly either. He's going to get away with that because Boulton could have left a finish from there, but you're not going to leave many finishers with scores like that.
'83.
Well, a curious display from Daryl Gurney. I'm not really sure what to make of it. He's looked more impressive in
43.
defeat in recent weeks to Gary Anderson and Dave Chisnell at the Masters. He was pretty hopeless yesterday, but still managed to pick up a win.
48.
He's not been convincing here, but looks like he could win it quite comfortably 6-2.
59.
Room for improvement for Daryl Gurney, and he may need to improve because it could be yesterday's finalist Jeff Smith he faces, because Super Chin completes a 6-2 victory to kick things off here on Streaming Board 2. It will be Smith, the silencer, or Darren Penhall, a new boy on the PDC, who goes up against the 2-time major champion from Derry.